Welcome to Monday Night TPK.
Alright, hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. This is Monday Night TPK. My name is Kyle, and I am your Dungeon Master for the evening. We are running Tomb of Annihilation on this 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons Real Play podcast. Did I hit all the marks, Dana?
I think you got them all.
Fantastic. So around me are some people. They are sitting at a table, except for Sam, who's kind of off to the side because she doesn't want to be at the table. This is the second episode we've recorded tonight, so apparently I'm just getting weird. Dana, how you doing?
I'm fine. I don't know why you're so weird.
Me either, right? Hey Ryan, what's going on?
Nothing much.
Fantastic.
Watching my DM with pride.
I can't make eye contact with you right now.
Or can you?
Matt, that look was awful. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Sweet. Sam, what's up?
Nothing. It's still Monday.
It is still Monday. And tomorrow is still your birthday.
Woo!
But like tomorrow when we record this, not real world tomorrow whenever this comes out and is available for listening.
That is correct.
Will you stop? You're confusing the timelines.
There's only one timeline.
Presents are
That's Stewart or
also
McAvoy. These timelines are so confusing.
presents are accepted on any day. So just keep that in mind.
Alright, cool.
Kyle, how are you?
Hey, thanks for asking. I'm apparently getting confused and I don't know what I'm doing.
That's okay.
So
Neither do any of us.
when
This is gonna be fun.
when the following story that I present to you is a jumbled, incoherent mess, that's probably my fault and not Wizards of the Coast's fault.
Well,
Because this book is pretty actually well written. So in place of a informal muddled recap, I am going to read you Sam's notes from our last session.
Oh, I haven't even been looking at them.
Right,
That'll be
right.
Fun.
So as I said, this is our second episode being recorded tonight. So Sam has been writing these notes for the past hour. Let's find out what we've done. Let's see here. I'm going to read these verbatim as written as best I can. So we start off with a fantastic balloon emoji, followed by 2 party poppers. And then tomorrow is Sam's birthday! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Party popper, balloon.
Yes.
Wake up from the sleepy sleep. Sleepy emoji. Brielle has a morning workout routine. ... Gross. Let's see here. Brielle casts Cure Wounds on herself. Woo! But first, breakfast, coffee, and quick shopping. A coffee emoji. An eyeglass? A spyglass? What is that?
It's an egg in a frying pan.
Eggs and
Oh, it's
pan,
okay. It's an egg in a frying pan, and then a pig emoji. Wizard is thankful for a good show last night. Montwood made a rat, and then a mouse.
His name is 12.
Probably a rat emoji. Gilly grabs a road biscuit to go. Donut emoji.
Sounds like a poop joke.
Road biscuits.
Yes.
That's
Brielle and Gilly go to the blacksmith, then to Syndra Sylvain. You're still spelling it wrong. I don't know how to spell. I don't know how to spell her name, but she lives in a fancy house. She fancy. Torna montage. Everyone goes in the house. We are sent to the library. It's filled with ... books. And then a whole bunch of book emojis. And a fireplace. Mystery person with creepy, raspy voice greets us and invites us to drink and advances the plot. Oh, sorry. Important. The soulmonger. Magical something having to do with the curse. Syndra no sign? Say what? Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Brielle and Gilly are ready to go. Montwood stares on awkwardly. Rixer is looking at maps. She gave us 50 gold each for food. Pizza, hot dog, taco, burger, Chicken leg, banana, peach, watermelon. What is that?
I don't know.
Kiwi, obviously.
Some sort of green fruit thing.
I think
grape,
it's like a
maybe?
melon.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
don't
think it's a melon.
know. And then grapes.
Yep.
Go into the boat. Wait. ... Go into the basement? There's a teleportation circle. Her friend is waiting for us. Wakanga Otamu. That's close enough.
Thanks.
She begins to cast a bright light, and then ... What is that, Sam?
Picture.
There's an-
of the location.
Island emoji and then a desert emoji.
Huh. Okay. Harbor Town, Port Ninezaru. Also spelled wrong, but
That's cool.
doable. Very
Yeah,
cool.
Like the cat.
Alright, so you guys kind of went poof. There was a bright flash of light, as Sam's notes indicated, and now you are in a harbor of a very brightly colored, scent-filled, loud city. There are people everywhere. There's boats being loaded and unloaded. One thing that's going to immediately catch your eye and catch your attention is the number and the variety of enormous lizards doing a lot of mundane work.
Rixer's eyes are just wide like a little child's. Like, did your hand dancing make all of this come here? This is amazing. How do you fit it in your basement? What is that?
Syndra is, of course, wearing a silver mask over most of her face, but you can see her mouth and her kind of her lower jaw a little bit. And it's clear that she is watching Rixer's childlike wonder. And she gets a big smile on her face, frankly. Rixer, I am still very glad that you're with us.
Rixer's gonna kind of like clear his throat and cross his arms like, okay, yeah. Looking down at his feet. Seriously, did you do this?
My friends, we are now in the port city of Nyanzaru. And no, we're in a city, Vixer. We
okay.
teleported.
Oh,
We are now in the peninsula known as Chult.
I think I saw that on a map.
You may have. Which reminds me, when we meet Wakanga, he has a map for you. That may seem mundane, but when we get to his villa, I will explain to you why it is a very, very rare and important item.
Brielle's not really... I mean, she's paying attention, but she doesn't really look like she's paying that much attention. And she's looking... I assume we're by the water, right?
Yes.
So she's kind of looking out towards the water, and her hair was that gray, bluish color. It turns back to the autumn, like reddish and orange color, and she's just staring out at the water, and her hair is kind of whipping in the wind. And
yeah, from if you're staring out towards the water of the harbor, obviously the first thing you see is lots and lots of ships.
Oh, yeah.
A very, very busy port. But kind of off to what would be her left, there is a very small break wall, and you could see that there's another like inlet that is only then ended by another even larger break wall. Like this seems to go across almost 2/3 of the whole port.
oh, wow.
And then further on, it looks like there might even be like a chain that connects the end of the break wall back to the mainland. In the center of this enormous bay, you can make out a statue. It seems to be of a humanoid figure. It's hard to make out the distance, but it's definitely facing away from you. You can't quite tell what it is, but definitely like some huge statue at the center of the harbor.
Can I roll something to figure out what the humanoid figure is of? Or would I automatically know?
I'm not sure what would
Like,
you...
is it like, is it a deity? Like, is it...
It's probably a man, but you can't really like its back is to you.
Oh, okay. So I can't see like
Yeah.
the front of it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was.
You can make out if you're really focusing, like maybe that he's wearing something on his head, but no, any symbols, it's just too far away.
Okay.
It's probably 600, 700 feet away.
Oh, so it's really big, but it's way out
yes.
there. Oh, okay.
I mean, it's also very bright and clear, so you can definitely see it even in that distance.
Okay.
But it's just, you can't make it out.
Okay.
Is it like in the water?
It seems to be standing on maybe an island.
I was
Like a very,
picturing
very
like a
tiny
Statue of Liberty kind of thing, but not on the scale of that. But
That's
but
fair.
like something like that, yeah.
I mean,
That's what I was visualizing anyway.
well, it's not straddling the harbor.
No, he said it was like 600 feet out,
Yeah.
but it's not. I mean, like you can't make it out, so it's not Statue of Liberty size, but
right.
it's big enough to be able to see it from here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But these large lizard-like creatures seem to be helping out with every mundane task. You can see very large-bodied, long-necked creatures with harnesses over their heads, helping pick up cargo from the surface of boats, and then moving it over and dropping it to the shore. If you look out, it looks like there's some sort of like water lizards helping like move large boats like into position in the docks. In the streets up ahead, you can see smaller lizards pulling carts.
Just imagining dino riders.
These lizards seem to be everywhere.
It's a levy.
Maybe even like working as windshield wipers on cars. You know, underneath of in homes, underneath like holes in like a kitchen counter, eating scraps.
I tried. Nick.
You don't know that yet, but you might assume. You can picture it in your mind.
Mammoths are their shower heads.
You don't see any large hairy elephants. Sorry.
Which is actually incorrect, because there were not mammoths during the period that the Flintstones takes place.
Takes place in the future.
Yeah, there's that whole theory. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yes. The city of Port Nyanzaru and Chult itself, it takes some getting used to. And you also can definitely begin to realize it is ridiculously hot. And at the moment there's no like precipitation coming from the sky. It's also ridiculously humid.
It's a good thing nobody's playing a paladin.
I was actually going to ask, is anybody wearing heavy armor?
Leather.
Chain, I think.
I'm
I think
wearing
we're
chain
both
now.
wearing chain.
Is that heavy?
I think it's
Sam,
medium.
I think we're both wearing
Not
chain.
sure. Are we?
Yeah.
And chain is medium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You're definitely glad that you're not wearing like super heavy plate mail or something,
Yeah.
because you would be. You're already like right away, like you feel the sun hitting you, and
Bring out hair.
and if you start looking around, most people are wearing very light, flowy clothing, different types of like robes, again made of a very thin material, kind of wrapped loosely, all very bright and colorful as well. And if you look around, you can also see some other people dressed not too differently than you, that seem to be like, shoulders slumped, like, because if you really start looking around this port, you're going to see people that seem to be from all over the place. A lot of people who seem like maybe they've lived here their whole lives, but others, every race, and, you know, like...
Those are replacement adventurers.
I mean, if it comes to it, you can look over at a boat right now hitting the port and think, I wonder if that'll be me in a couple sessions.
Excuse me, I'm weirdly drawn to this other person. I have to go.
Looks just like Montwood, but like shorter hair. Got a great big sword on his back. So
I already have my next character playing.
You're there for some time, and Syndra lets you just kind of like look around. She was anticipating this kind of interest in the place. Do you have any other questions for her at the moment?
What is that called? I'm pointing to pointing to
The lizards?
the big lizard with the harness and the really long neck.
I think it's a brontosaurus.
What's that one called? Pointing to the little ones.
Well, that one's a triceratops, and That one over there looks to be something else that I could look up for you, Dana.
Copies.
Yep, those little compies are like running around.
Rixer like just falls in love with the Triceratops. It's like
That makes sense.
it's big and strong.
It has a
It
double
looks different
personality.
than the other ones.
Oh, you're going to just adore the dinosaur races.
They race them. They go fast.
Oh yes, the Deinonychus and the Velociraptors and the baby T-Rex. Oh, they are very fast.
Baby T-Rex. Where's that at?
Every week they race the dinosaurs through the city.
Here?
Through the whole city, yes.
Okay.
I mean, they don't come down to this part of the docks, but she'll point out a little bit further away from the actual ships. They run right through the streets. It's a fantastic sight.
Okay. I'll wait.
and Richard sits down. Sorry, I shouldn't assume that.
Nobody's good because I can visualize it. Brielle Cervantes, right?
Syndra Sylvain.
Sylvain Cervantes. That's wild. Right.
You play too many
Sylvain.
like fantasy games.
Too many. Brielle's gonna do some hand signs towards her and ask her about the walls and the chain and the statue and stuff. See if she knows anything about them.
The which walls?
The breaks.
Okay. Well, so you can just kind of make out like the break walls, right?
Right. Yeah.
And she will sign back to you and explain that the break walls keep it so that there are no large waves coming into the harbor to keep the ship safe.
Okay.
And where the largest break wall ends, she'll tell you that is actually a very large lighthouse.
Oh.
And that where the chain connects on the opposite side is the old fort.
Like a war fort.
Yes.
Interesting. That's the one thing she was most curious about was the chains and.
Okay.
And
And
she
then,
knows she's from coastal, so she knows a little bit about break walls and stuff.
and then she's going to tell you that the statue is of Nabuso. Oh, jeez, I'm slaughtering his name. Na Mbuso. He is the great king.
Uso the Great King.
Current king? Or past king?
She will have a great big kind of smile and tell you that, kind of put her hands to her lips to kind of indicate shh, and we'll tell you that the statue is new. It doesn't represent a specific king. It's just supposed to be impressive.
Brielle will laugh and then kind of start to walk towards the city. Or more towards the group, I guess. Because she was a little ways away from the group.
Sure. And as you're standing there talking, Syndra is going to kind of gesture towards a man with walking towards you with several other people in his entourage. He looks a little bit
Picture time?
like this.
Oh, picture time.
So a very dark-skinned man with an elaborate beard with several different braids in it. He's got numerous piercings in both ears, wearing a kind of a yellowish-colored head wrap, and he's got a couple gold-collared necklaces, and he's wearing kind of a black and purple robes that kind of flow out long behind him. And there are a couple other people with him who definitely just instantly give off the bodyguard vibe. And they have got a weapon that you probably wouldn't be very familiar with. So they have it's a weapon that's a 3-foot wooden shaft with a steel blade about 18 inches long, kind of sticking up off the end of it. So pretty wicked looking, almost like a pole arm of some sort.
Like a glaive?
Sort of similar, but the killing part is a heck of a lot bigger.
Oh. Oh, like a naginata.
Maybe, I don't know what that is.
Maybe. Maybe that's the right one. I don't know.
What was it called?
It is called a Yikalwa. And so he walks up with his arms are wide and a great big smile on his face. Like, Syndra, you finally made it. I just got word. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you are doing well. I have been worried sick. I was afraid that this curse had taken you already. It took you so long to come and see me here. And then he's gonna stop and look at you four and like, who are your friends? She will. I'm not gonna roleplay a bunch of like different NPCs talking to each other. She'll introduce you and say that you're here to help solve this curse problem. And he'll smile and say, "Well, fantastic, fantastic. Come to my villa. We will have conversation. I have the item that you requested." Still, he's talking to Syndra. And we'll get them a good start on their journey. Please, friends, come with me. And he will turn, and his bodyguards turn. Normal helps Syndra walk along. Do you guys follow, I'm assuming, or do you run off and do something weird?
Well, he seems nice.
I assure you I am nice, sir.
Is that out loud? Is that out loud?
Brielle's just nodding her head yes.
He just laughs.
Gilly leans over to Brielle and says, I hope there's food at this villa.
So you guys walk along. You leave the harbor area of the city, and it's really not too far of a walk. You pass many more people, and you pass just a few vendors here and there, but for the most part, you don't see a lot of commerce happening. Just a couple maybe street carts. You can smell a few like spiced meats. Just fills your nose. It just smells fantastic. Everywhere you go, everything is brightly colored, and everything is covered in plant life. Everything is alive. I mean, you see a lot of very large, kind of old buildings, and you'll see vines crawling up them. And you go into a walled area of this city. And once you get through this next set of kind of gates into this other area, the houses are just enormous, and they are immaculate, and they are beautiful. And he leads you to one of them, and will say to you, "Come, friends. For the time being, what I have is yours. I hope we can have a good meal, and that we can get our day started on the right foot."
Gilly nods excitedly. Yeah.
Ah, halfling, I'm sure you can appreciate the foods here.
Yeah.
Excuse me, do you have a Veloprapper? I heard about those, but I haven't seen one yet.
He's gonna give you a very confused look. I'm sorry, do I have a what now?
A Veloprapper.
He's gonna turn to Syndra. He's like, I'm sorry, my friend. I don't know what.
I saw a brontosaurus back there, and there was a tri-top. But I haven't. but I haven't seen a Veloprapper yet. Or a T-Rex.
We're talking about dinosaurs then.
Yeah.
I think he means Velociraptor.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Well, velociraptors, if they're untrained, can be very dangerous. And they are some in the city, I'm sure. If you're very interested, I could point you towards some handlers who maybe breed them and train them for racing purposes. Same thing with the juvenile Tyrannosaurus Rex. Typically, the adults don't stick around inside the city. They can be very dangerous. But mostly just for racing and occasionally defensive purposes as well.
I'd like that.
and he's still a little bit like confused, but is trying to be a really good host and kind of be cool and everything. And he'll tell you that maybe when we leave, I'll try to point you in that direction. All right, so you enter into his villa, and immediately, it is. I mean, first of all, it has a lot of torches lining the walls, which give off a lot of just kind of bright light. You can see, one of the first things you see is a large basin of water, and everywhere, again, like he has potted plants. I was going to give you guys just this little map. I think for the sake of ease in my life, I'm going to give you a much bigger map to look at, under the assumption that y'all know how to just not metagame, right? Cool.
I mean, we're pretty good at that.
Yeah, I think you are too. So you're kind of coming in through the door here, and there's an entryway, and you can kind of see that there's some couches on one side, and it seems like he will lead you into a sitting room off to your right. Although clearly you can see that the house continues on with a couple sweeping large staircases that go up, and that's kind of where you're at.
Okay.
But he will gesture for you to kind of sit around a low table, and there are some cushions on the floor. One thing that strikes your interest in particular, Gilly, is there's a very large rug underneath of this table with an intricate maze design, and just the way it's I'm not a maze in that book that you have.
Okay.
But it seems to be the same style in terms of like the way the maze is drawn. So
Okay.
it really kind of catches your attention
Right.
as a similarity.
Right.
And again, it's just a rug under a table. Let's see here. You guys can also hear music, just kind of like distantly playing somewhere else in the villa. You also will see swords and shields kind of crossed, hanging all over the walls in different places. It's a very kind of like warm, inviting place. And again, he's gonna tell you this. They ask you to sit down. Do you sit down?
Richter, move a pillow out of the way and sit down around the table.
The people who are obviously the guards really kind of look to Wakanga for guidance, and he just kind of uses a hand gesture to kind of like, thank you. I'm glad that you are comfortable, sir. And speaking, of course, to Richter.
Well, it's a nice pillow. I don't want to ruin it.
And like Syndra is kind of helped to sit down on top of a pillow, and Wakanga sits down on a pillow, and Normal sits down on a pillow. Cushion, I guess, is a better word to use than pillow. And
When Gilly sits down, is she like, does she need a booster seat?
at first, but then like he kind of like snaps a little bit and kind of gestures to some servants, and they bring you in several more pillows. Like, he doesn't even have to say anything. It's just like they're going to accommodate you and your size. Just like it's just a thing that happens. And he kind of like gives them this look like, why wasn't that already in place?
What if you be executed to the side?
So Wakanga is going to, once you're all settled and Richter is sitting on the table.
I'm not sitting on the table. I said I moved a pillow to sit around the table.
Oh, I thought you said sit on the table. That's why people were reacting like,
Sitting on the floor.
who is this
Sitting
crazy
on-
person?
No, I'm sitting on the floor. I moved the pillow so
Oh.
I sit on the floor instead of ruining the pillow.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. That is drastically less weird. But he is going to start off by saying, Syndra, again, I'm so glad that you're here, and you, of course, still talking to Syndra, and you, of course, can stay here as long as you need to. We have a room ready for you, and I hope this matter can be resolved quickly, and that your friends here can find the root of this problem. I was a little confused as to why you came here, though. And she will kind of tell him an abbreviated version of what she told you, that her contacts have led them to Charlton. He seems shocked. But I have the item that you requested. And he will kind of put his hand out, and one of his servants hands him leather tube, and he will open up one end of it, and then realize he's opening the wrong end. Flip it around, open up the other end.
There's some really good sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
He'll pull out first the wrong map, and then he'll pull out a very large map of
Two
Chult.
servants are going to be executed in there.
And he will lay the map out.
Ooh. Glossy.
Oh, this takes me back to Curse of Strahd and the map of cheating.
The map of cheating.
Yeah, that's what they called it. They called it the map of cheating.
This is the wrong map. This is the other map.
Yeah. Don't actually give us the map of cheating.
Yeah. This is the map. Sorry, I have my map and I have your map. They're very similar, but not the same map.
So many servants have
One
died
is a
today.
map. One is a map of cheating. The other one is.
One of them is the DM reference, and one of them is what players need to look
Yeah,
at.
that was the thing I was sad about with the Curse of Strahd is the map that they gave you was everything was marked on the map. So if you wanted to show the players,
Well,
If you go to the
map.
artist,
remember towards the end of the campaign I did pull up one that didn't have everything marked.
the artist will usually sell the unlabeled one.
Yeah, I had to find it. Yeah.
What's the square
Support your
with
artists.
the T in
Yes,
for sure.
support your artists.
I want to go to the square with the T in it. I disarm the trap.
Yep.
Oh, there's a trap there.
So you guys are given a map of Chult.
Yay!
And they will go on to explain that Chult is a very, very difficult peninsula to map.
Ah, there we are. I was looking
Um,
the wrong end. We're up there.
Yep. Because the interior of this area of the peninsula is just thick with not only like barely passable terrain with the thick jungles and the mountains, but also the undead and deadly dinosaurs and diseases.
So is this map labeled just like this?
This map is labeled, the map that you're given is labeled just like what you are seeing.
What kind of a place is this? You got Peaks of Flame, Land of Ash and Smoke, Valley of Dread.
Wakanga's gonna tell you, oh yes, Chult is a very dangerous place.
Camp Vengeance.
I don't know. Snapping Turtle Bay sounds okay.
That's a Boulder's Gate outpost. You'll find that and we can discuss this in more detail later, but you'll find that Boulder's Gate has got a contingency of their Flaming Fist, just pretending like they own this land, and they are taking great swaths of it for themselves. What you see here is the best cartography that money can buy. The coast has been mapped to our greatest ability. Major mountain ranges that are visible from the coast have been labeled as such. There are some further interior spaces that we know are there, and we've given them a label on the map. You might see Kir Sabal, for example, or Umbala. We know that's where they're at, but what the terrain looks like between here and there is up for debate. We know also that some of the major rivers, they go much deeper into the jungle. But again, getting them mapped accurately or with any kind of consistency is very difficult to do. I hope that this map can have you can put it to some use.
It's very, very, very nice put together, and I like the glossy bit about it.
Oh yes, spared no expense.
Gilly's just kind of like peeking to try to get a closer look. Can I see? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm just so small.
Now I must tell you that you need to keep this map safe. There are, in certain circles, a map with this accuracy could be worth a great deal of money. And that is not my invitation for you to sell it.
I was gonna say, good thing we don't have a rogue in the party.
I am certain that you will need a map to find where you are going.
Excuse me?
Yes,
What's a sky lizard?
the Sky Lizard Mountains.
Yeah.
It's a mountain range.
Okay, but is it named after a sky lizard?
Once, very, very long time ago, this whole area was a empire by lizard folk, as you may call them.
Mm-hmm.
So some of these names derive from that time.
Mm. Okay.
Riel's gonna pull off her necklace and show it to him with the woka nut,
Oh, sure, you have a waka nut.
and then she's gonna point at the map.
Where are those?
They grow wild all over Chult. They're very common.
Do you know anything about this book? And Gilly, like, as she's looking at the map, holds up her book from her pack.
He will take the prayer book from you.
Okay.
This seems to be some sort of prayer book. It's very old. I would assume it is to Obteu.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Okay. He kind of opens it and starts flipping through it. This seems to be. I can't read this, but it is very similar to our native language here, the Omoan language.
No.
But this isn't. Perhaps there is an old Omoan, much older than our current language, but this isn't something I'm able to read.
Okay. Gilly takes her book back.
And
Thank you.
Oh, of course. And he will kind of like think about a little bit this prayer book, Gilly, and he'll tell you that since you are new here, and obviously you have some things to learn about our culture, mazes are a big part of Obteu's worship, and you will find mazes all throughout Chult. If you look around the city, you will see them painted in places on buildings. He kind of gestures to the rug at your feet.
Yeah.
You will see mazes just everywhere. They're part of the artwork, part of the land. Obteu was once the god here before he abandoned us. But many people still show reverence to him in small ways. It is considered extremely good luck if you find a maze to complete the maze.
Gilly, like, shoots under the table.
I mean, this rug is nice, and I know what you're thinking, my child, but as far as I'm aware, there's no special properties to this particular maze. But if you would like to complete it, it can be done. I have solved it many times myself.
Yes.
Why did he leave?
Why did Obteu leave?
Yeah.
According to the story or the legend, the people of Chult displeased him. In particular, the ancient city of Mesro. The people there were not worshiping him in the way that he would prefer. They were being too modern, too susceptible or influenced by the rest of the world. And he thought that they were no longer the people that he wanted them to be. So according to legend, he left.
That is a thing.
He will nod, yes. That is a thing. That is a story, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. He will look around to the rest of you. Do you have any other questions?
From under the table. Drat!
You'll get it. Just keep trying. It's solvable. It's solvable.
I got this.
Now, I will assume that your journey will take you deep into the heart of Chult. It may be wise of you to consult a guide. There are many guides in this city. Did you find something of interest mounted on the map?
Oh, no. This is just Ryan reacting to something.
Oh, what did Ryan find?
This is just Ryan reacting to something about a guide.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Guides are expensive.
He will nod. They can be. Their fees are pretty standard. They are overseen by one of the 7 merchant princes. A man named Jobal oversees the guides in the city. But guides are good for keeping you alive and taking you where you need to be. But of course, if you don't think you need a guide, then that is also... Who am I to say what do you need?
Well, where are we going?
He will turn to look at Syndra, and Syndra will say, I'm hoping you can go find this soulmonger and put an end to this
I was
curse.
just looking for what that was called again in the notes, because I was going to ask about it.
But where is it at?
That is something that you will need to discover for yourselves. I have brought us to the peninsula where I believe it resides, but I do not know where in the jungles it is.
That's a conundrum.
It is, my dear.
No. It's a nummy. The conundrum. Oh, God.
So
Brielle's gonna sign, so we're just supposed to wander aimlessly through the forest
we're
until we
supposed
find
to
it?
just wander aimlessly through the at the same time.
Who are you addressing that question to?
What's her name?
Syndra?
Syndra, yeah. I keep forgetting her name.
I mean, I'm hoping that you can find resources, find other people who may know things, do some legwork, investigate this curse. If you are able to do this, I am willing to reward you for your work. You never asked for a reward, and I find that to be very noble. But I do have many treasures that I've amassed over my life, and I'm sure we can find each of you something unique and powerful to help you with your future.
Brielle will sign to her that this is very important and that removing a curse to save the world is more than a minimal item that she could give us or a reward of any kind. It's very important to help everyone.
She will nod at Brielle, but out loud say, "You are right, Brielle. This is some may find that saving possibly the world may be rewarded in itself, but if I have to sweeten the pot, I will."
Oh, I wouldn't mind one of those triceratops. I'd be okay with that.
She
Just a
nods.
little one.
She nods like I could make that happen.
Brielle's gonna sign.
I like
they
it
are
a
also.
lot.
I believe they are also just for sale from the right vendors in the city.
Brielle's gonna sign to Gilly.
What?
How does she expect to get, or how does he expect to get that home?
Syndra will sign back to you on a boat.
And
It's got to be a big
what?
boat.
How? Rick's is gonna start counting his gold.
Okay.
1, 2, 4.
Gilly marks the spot on the maze with her foot and goes and signs, he's gotta find the right way to say it first.
Syndra sees that and frowns at you deeply.
I'm under the table.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, she doesn't know. She would frown at you then.
I'm under the table. Yes! I win!
Congratulations, my dear. I told you it was solvable.
Thank you. I did it.
Brielle gives her a thumbs up.
55, 56, 57.
Alright, so As a this is out of the characters here. You guys do have a checklist, a quest list, as it were. I mean, ultimate big quest is going to be solve the death curse,
Right.
but optional quests at the moment include possibly finding a guide if you just so choose. Wakanga would tell you that as much as he appreciates what you're doing,
Conduct for life.
you cannot stay here with him in his house. You will need to find accommodations and figure out how, when, and where you will need to leave Port Ninezaru. So that might involve some exploration of the city.
Oh no, you need to leave. Hey, go out the back, please.
Can be seen with your refract.
No, it's Rick's hair. Alright.
He will recommend that there are two very popular inns where you might be able to find both a room but also refreshments and information, etc., etc. He is going to tell you that if you want something that is loud and interesting and fun and full of life,
Riel's shaking your head no. Well, Montwood is shaking his head yes.
then you will probably want... If you want something loud and crazy, you can go to the Thundering Lizard. Or if you're looking for a good, peaceful night's sleep and a nice, calm, quiet environment, you can check out Kaya's House of Repose. Both of these inns are located near the Red Bazaar.
What was it called again? Kaya's.
Thundering Blizzard.
Kaya's House of Repose would be the nice, calm place. And then the Thundering Lizard, if you're looking for a raucous good time.
Both are in the Red Bazaar.
Both are near the Red Bazaar, yes. And if you ask, they'll tell you the Red Bazaar is kind of one of the major places where people can buy and sell stuff.
Probably towards the center of the city.
Let's see here. It is actually the southern end of the city. There's the city's broken up into different wards. There's the Harbor Ward where you initially arrived. You're currently in the Merchants Ward, which includes obviously the houses of the Seven Princes.
Right, the richer people.
And and then there is a Market Ward, which is actually just close to the Harbor Ward, which would make sense. Where most things are bought and sold.
That does make sense.
Yep.
Let's go to the Thundering Lizard. I wonder what color their beer is.
Gilly and Brielle both shake their heads no.
Mom shakes his head yes.
Oh no.
Oh, it's still morning
had
for us, right?
Peace and quiet.
I mean,
we've
yeah.
only been up for like a few hours, but what kind of day
Sounds
is it
fun.
here? Because time zones.
It's I thought about that actually. It's pretty much the same because it's
Is it?
essentially just straight south.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just very far south.
Okay.
Maybe
East, south.
maybe southwest-ish.
So it might be off by a few hours, but still.
Maybe one really.
Yeah.
So you're looking at like probably 10 or 11 a.m. right
Okay.
now. Not even quite noon.
Okay. So we've got a whole day. Yeah.
It's true.
Before we even have to sleep. We can explore the city.
You guys can
This is
totally
Matt talking, not Brielle.
Alright.
explore the city. So do you have any other questions for Syndra or Wakanga? It's pretty clear that Syndra is going to stay with Wakanga for the time being.
Right.
If we find the thing, do you want us to come back here or what?
Syndra would tell you, yes, I think I will be here until either you have solved this problem or I have met my end. This is a beautiful city. This is a beautiful continent. I think this is where I want to be now. I would appreciate it if you could return here after you have solved this. from there, we will discuss your reward and where things go. If you have any other questions before you leave the city, please, I will work with Wakanga, and he kind of will nod as she's talking, to make sure that you are welcome here and can come and we can discuss matters as necessary. It may take you a day or 2 or 3 to get what you need in the city before you leave. I understand. Do a good job. I don't want you to feel rushed.
But you might die.
She
Do
nods.
we need to hurry?
She nods. I may. I don't know how much time I have left.
Brielle signs death is just a part of life.
Death
For
is
the ones that can read that.
Death is but a doorway. Time is but a window.
Dexter looks at the door.
I'll be back. And she'll pose for a moment with her hands on her hips and kind of look off into the middle distance. So you guys don't have any other further questions, I'm assuming.
Brielle just doesn't have anything, no.
Alright, cool. Wakanga will then kind of, well, if that's it, then I hope sincerely that you can complete this task. And, like, he's not going to try to, like, kick you out or rush you out or anything, but, like, you got stuff to do. There's the door.
Brielle's going to
Servants.
sign at Gilly that we should probably leave and get going. Get our stuff ready.
Yeah, time to go.
Cool. You guys kind of walk out the door, and immediately the heat hits you again. Like, it was relatively cooler inside, but, like, not only is it, like, just humid and you can feel your clothing sticking to you, but it started to rain a little bit. It's not really a heavy rain. It's just kind of a light sprinkle coming from the sky, but it's enough that you're going to feel it. What's up, Matt?
Were there any, like, mirrors on the walls?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Brielle, when she glances in one and sees the atrocity that is now her hair due to the humidity, she's going to try and fix it and, like, brush it and comb it and she'll pull it back and then put it in a ponytail so that the poof of the ponytail at the end is what will now be changing color instead of the base that hangs around her shoulder.
So I'm assuming she did that before she left.
Yeah, she'll be doing that once she sees a mirror, and she'll be working on that on the way out.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
That would be dexterity, right? Yeah. 13.
Brielle is successful in tying a sufficient knot to restrain her hair.
It's yeah, I can imagine it's a mess.
All right. Well, you guys have the entirety of Port Nanzaro ahead of you. You have an epic quest to complete. You have made at least one new contact in the city. But, man, the question hangs over your head. Where do we go from here, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get a little bit further into our adventure next week when we come back to Monday Night TPK. But hey, if you like what we are doing or you want to get a hold of us, you can find us on Facebook. Just do a search for Monday Night TPK. Same thing with Instagram, Twitter. You can find some of our stuff on the YouTubes. But from there, maybe you want to check out Above the Table Games, that's plural, for some other weird, crazy stuff we do. Either way, have a good night.
Bye.
Buds.